Hi, welcome to another video. I hope the lighting is alright. I currently am using my overhead lamp and it is storming. It is storming outside, so bear with. I think you need to be a little higher. So, welcome to another video. That glare is awful. I don't know what to do about it. Hi. It is TBR time once again, my favorite video of the month, every month, and today we are talking about both Bookopoly Deals picks for the month and also what I'm going to be reading for Believathon. I am also participating in Clear Shit this month, which is a long 2-month readathon over November. Well, it's 8 weeks, so just under 2 months over November and December, and it is... I'm going to be talking about my actual TBR for that probably in an early December TBR, but it'll be coming out maybe the 3rd week of November. Just because it's going to make more sense then. All of these books that I talk about today that are all going for Believathon will also be counting for things in Clear Shit, but I'll talk through what they actually counted for and then what else I'm going to be reading for Clear Shit, which is forming the majority of my TBR for December. Like basically everything I'm reading in December will somehow fit on that. So it's like planned, but I don't want to tell you about it yet, so I'm going to tell you about it a bit later. But if you want to keep up with my Clear Shit progress and how it's filling out for prompts, if that's something you're interested in, check out my Twitter, because I will be doing regular updates of books filling out prompts as I across the entire month, so keep an eye there and you'll see what I'm working on. I might also try and cross post to my Instagram stories, so if you follow me over there you'll probably also see that info. So let's start off with the Bookopoly Deal TBR.
Let's try and get this stable. Okay, I've tried to film this video like 5 times with my camera, but my memory card is dying and just won't stay connected. So we're going to instead do it here, because I'm really excited to film this clip because I want to know what's on my TBR. Obviously it's Believathon month. It is also the first month of Clear Shit, so I'm trying to make things fit for a lot of readathons. So we're gonna try and do our best here. I've literally done like 5 attempts of this. Okay, first up, wild card. So you have to put absolutely anything. That's good because it'll be easy to fit a middle grade there.
So first off, we do a total wild cards. That means I can pick anything, and for this I decided to pick something I'm really excited to read that I got out from the library, and this is The Tea Dragon Tapestry by Katie O'Neill. This is the 3rd book in the Tea Dragon world. They're a series of like middle grade graphic novels, and I love them and I can't wait to pick up this one. I've been eyeing it off for ages, so I'm going to be reading this for that prompt. Obviously it's middle grade, so it's fitting Believathon as well, as are all of these. I'm making sure that works.
Oops, sorry. Oxford Street Green is a middle grade. That's exciting. You're way not as stable as you were with the camera on here because you're a bit lighter, but try.
Next up we drew Oxford Street, which I didn't write it down. Why didn't I write it down? Oh, I gotta check my computer. Oxford Street is a physical middle grade, so for that I decided to pick up a new release middle grade I'm so excited about, and that is Shadowgast by Thomas Taylor, which is the 3rd Malamander book. I love this series so much. They're so fascinating and just really draw you into the story. I absolutely love them. I've recently lent the first book, Malamander, to a girl I work with, a little girl. She's 7. I think she's gonna love it. We're gonna read it together because it's a little above her reading level wise, but we're gonna be reading it together, and she's enjoying it so far, I believe, and I can't wait to read this one. I'm gonna fly through it. I have been saving it for Believathon, so we're fitting it in.
Oh, another wildcard green which we can use for middle grade. This is actually turning out really great.
Next up we landed on wildcard green or black, which is perfect because green is a middle grade, which means I can read any middle grade. For this one I decided to pick The Book Smugglers, which is the 4th Pages & Co book, another sequel. These are so cute. Yes. This series follows, this is about a little town called Erie-on-Sea where monsters and stuff are happening. This is about a girl whose grandparents own a bookshop and she can travel into stories, and it's like a whole thing. Love this series. Can't wait to read book 4.
Rent, but we can't apply it, so that becomes cash all the way over there. Oh my gosh, that's a perfect TBR. The last one of my attempt that didn't save had like 16 books and we still hadn't gotten anywhere. This we've got a set in like 4 books and they're all middle grades. I love that. And only 1 cash, so we are fine. What the hell, Duggery Pleasant? This is real nice. Thank you, camera, for messing up 5 times. So I finally had to do this take again and got a good one. Glorious. Glorious.
And then finally we drew a wild card green dark blue, which means we've got another middle grade. Bookopoly Deal was like really kind to me this month. I promise I didn't cheat. This is just how it fell. It's been really kind to me lately. And for this I decided to pick up Jungle Drop by Abby Elphinstone, which again is a sequel to Rumblestar. These are what's the series called? It was just there. I looked at it for half a second. The Unmapped Chronicles, and it's an adventure middle grade, which I absolutely adore. And so they're whisked off to Jungle Drop on an unmapped kingdom in charge of our world's weather. I can't wait. I really enjoyed Rumblestar, and I think I'm gonna really love Jungle Drop, and it's nice and short. So excited. So those are all the books I'm going to read for Bookopoly Deal, but obviously I have a lot more I'm going to read for Believathon. So let's go through, because I'm going to attempt to do every Believathon prompt in like 2 weeks is my goal. It may be crazy, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to go through each of the prompts. There's 30, is that right? 30? Yes, I'll go through pretty quick and I'll show you what I'm reading for each of these. So prompt 1 is, obviously if you're participating in Believathon, you don't have to do every prompt. That's not the idea. You draw out as many as you're willing to do. You randomize them. But I'm going to attempt to do everyone because I'm crazy. So the first one is read an adventure. And for this, I'm going to read a Lumberjanes volume. I think I have them all out of order on here, but I'll just show you the ones on the top of my stack. This one, which I think is the last one. 19, but that's not the one I'm going to be reading specifically. Like, I have 17 written down for this one, but I got them all out of order. But I'm going to read a volume of Lumberjanes. This is a middle grade graphic novel series about a bunch of campers at like a summer camp, and they're great. I love them. I'm up to 11, so both from 11 through 19 will be on this TBR, but I'll just like point them out as I'm going through. Number 2 is read a book with a map. And for this, I'm going to be reading Mistletoe and Murder. Can you see that there? By Robin Stevens, which is the 5th Murder Most Unladylike book. These are historical murder mysteries. They kind of have a Sherlock and Watson kind of vibe, but it has a map, as you can see here, of Cambridge, I believe, and some different buildings. I don't know much about the plot of this one. It looks like it's set at Cambridge. And I just really like this series. It's not perfect, but it does have, like, it's a Sherlock and Watson retelling, and I really feel like it really leans into that in a way that is a little bit bordering on, like, bullying between the girls. Like, so we follow Daisy and Hazel, and Daisy's a little bit overbearing on Hazel, and I think Hazel's journey throughout the series is learning to stand up for herself. Hazel's the Watson, I guess. Hazel is also Chinese, and I think she's from Hong Kong, and how I won't comment on the like quality of the representation in this, because I don't, it's not own voices as far as I'm aware, so I think other people can have a better say on that than me, but that is to take note of, and it is set during like the 1910s, so it's in that historical context. I enjoyed them. I think they're really fun, and I really like a middle grade mystery and solving the clues. So on that side, I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to continue this series. That's Mistletoe and Murder. Then number 3 is to read a historical, and for that I'm going to be reading The Interrupted Tale, which is the 4th Incorrigible Children story. This is a historical middle grade series that is following a nanny, I guess, or a governess who looks after these 3 children who were raised as wolves in the forest, and they get brought back to this mansion. It's a really fun series, and I can't wait to continue with this one. Then number 4 is a book with illustrations, so obviously I'm going to go overboard with that and read a Lumberjanes volume. Then we have an anticipated book, and for that I'm going to be reading Potkin and Stubbs number 1 by Sophie Green, which is another middle grade mystery. I think this is more like a noir kind of. She's getting the scoop. She's a like reporter. I'm very excited about it. I've been eyeing this off for a long time, but the timing was never right. Like I couldn't get it out from my library at the right time, so it just never got read. But I'm very, very excited to read it this Believathon. Then we have number 6, Set in a Faraway Place, and for this I'm going to read The Trouble with Perfect, which is the 2nd book in the Perfect series. And this is set in a like fantastical place called Perfect, which is like an alternate place. And a faraway place. I'm counting it. This is again a mystery adventure story, and the first one is about going to this town where everyone becomes blind and has to wear these special glasses, and she's trying to figure out the mystery. Then we have number 7, a book featuring a sibling relationship, and for this I'm going to be reading Amelia Fang and the Trouble with Toads. The end of the last Amelia Fang book, which I can't remember what one it was called. This is like the 5th book now, I think. At the end of the last book, Amelia Fang had a baby brother, and so I think that's going to be explored a lot more in this book, so I feel like it really fits the theme. Then at number 8 we have Continuous Series, so I'm going to read a Lumberjanes volume for that. Then at number 9 we have a book featuring water, and for this I'm going to be reading The Ship of Shadows by M. Kuznia, which is a piratey book, I believe. I don't really know that much about the plot of this one, but I've had it on my TBR for a long time, so I'm really excited to read it. I'm going to read it on my ebook. I have it out from the library, but like I've been eyeing it off for a long time. For prompt 10 we have a book released in 2021, and for that I'm going to be reading The Tea Dragon Tapestry. Then for a book released before 2001, which is prompt number 11, I'm going to be reading a Lumberjanes volume. For number 12 is something with a creature in the title, and I'm going to be reading Shadowghast for that, because I'm pretty confident the Shadowghast is a creature, as was the Malamander and the Gargantus, the previous 2 books in the series. Then we have number 13, which is to read an Own Voices book. So for that I'm going to be reading Arishar and the Tree of Wishes by Roshni Chokshi, which is a Rick Riordan Presents book, and it's about Hindu mythology, and I really have enjoyed this series so far. I'm really excited to continue. This is book 3. Then we have Read a Book from Childhood, and for that I'm going to go with Artemis Fowl and the Lost Colony. I have read this before. I've had it for a long time, as you can probably tell by the very yellowed cover, and I have read it before. And I remember this being my like least favorite in the series, but I have no memory of the actual plot. So this series follows Artemis Fowl, who is a child genius and an evil mastermind. He's kind of an anti-hero kind of scenario, and I remember like one part of the plot of this, but I don't remember how anything actually went. So I'm really excited to read this and try and here on out in the series is where my memory gets pretty murky, and I'm trying to reread and remember what happened and finally finish the series. Next up we have a Gavin recommendation, and for that I'm going to be reading Never and Forever by Cressida Cowell, which is the 4th and final The Wizards of Once book in the series. Oh god, this is a chaotic video. I have been meaning to read this forever. I love these, but I just hadn't got around to this one yet. I'm going to be reading it for this prompt. This is obviously a middle grade fantasy. Then we have a contemporary, and for that I'm going to be listening to You Must Be Layla by Yasmin Abdelmajid. I think I'll correct myself later if I'm wrong. This is a contemporary about a a Muslim girl dealing with like transitioning into school, wearing the hijab, trying to figure out how she fits in. It's a short little audiobook and I'm really excited to try it. I don't read a lot of middle grade contemporary, but I think this one will be really good. Then we had read a middle grade outside your favorite genre. My favorite middle grade genre is mystery. So instead I'm going to be reading my second favorite genre, because it counts for the prompt, which is fantasy. And that is, I'm going to be reading The Puffin Portal by Vashti Hardy, which is an early reader book, so a little bit younger than some of the other middle grades I read. And I'm going to listen to an audiobook, and this is an adventure fantasy story. It's the second book. I really liked the first one, The Griffin Gate, and I think I'll really like this one as well. Then we have read a short book. I'm going to read a volume of Lumberjanes. Then the next one is read a long book, and for this I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Green Glass House by Catherine something, Kate Milford. It's a long one. It's like a 12-hour audiobook, and for middle grade that's chunky. What does it say how long the book is in a book form? Like 400 pages, which is pretty big for a middle grade. This is a mystery set in a house. I don't know much else other than that, but I'm going to be listening to the audiobook. Then we have a book with your favorite color. My favorite color is purple, so for that I'm going to be reading the second Potkin and Stubbs, which is The Haunting of Pelican City. You can see the spine is really purple, and it has a lot of purple and pinks on the cover, as well. This is obviously the sequel to Potkin and Stubbs, and I really want to get through these so I don't forget about them and languish in TBR hell. Then we have a scary book, and for this I'm going to be reading Rise of the Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste. This is a Caribbean fantasy middle grade series, and the Jumbies are like folklore creatures from Caribbean mythology, and it's really eerie and creepy, and I'm very excited to read this. I enjoyed book one, which is the Jumbies. Very excited to read the Rise of the Jumbies. Then we have a TBR veteran, and for that I'm going to read Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth, because I have never read Percy Jackson series. This is the one I'm up to for the first time. It's been a sweet while, so we're going to read that. Then we have a book with winter vibes, and for that I'm going to read a Lumberjanes volume, but it was actually one I've already shown you because I wasn't paying attention. This one with snow on it. He's not that, but he's the Lumberjanes volume. Then we had read a 5-star prediction, and for that I'm going to read Jungle Drop. I gave Rumpelstar 5 stars, which is the first book, so I think I'm going to really love this one too. Then we have a book with a 2-word title, and for that I'm going to be reading Sky Pirates by Alex English. I know nothing about this. I'm going to be listening to an audiobook. I'm going to guess it has to do with pirates in the sky. Sounds like a fun adventure. I think I'm going to love it. Then a book that may surprise you. Another Lumberjanes volume. I have no idea what's going on in these last volumes. Then we have something with the same letter as your name, and I'm going with my middle name because nothing starts with a K. Cara is an awkward name to match, but obviously my middle name is Bianca, which is how my channel got its name. So I'm going to pick something that starts with a B, and for that I'm going to read The Bad Luck Lighthouse by, I literally looked this up the other day. Why is my memory like a goldfish? Nikki Thornton. This is a sequel as well. I can't remember what the first book was called, but they're fantasy mysteries, and I really enjoyed book 1, so hopefully I like book 2. Next up we have your most recent purchase. For me that's The Book Smugglers by Pages & Co. By Anna James, the 4th Pages & Co. book, because it only just came out. And then a book that was adapted. I'm being a bit sneaky with this one, and again picking a Lumberjanes because this has had a novelization from the graphic novel to a book. So counting that as an adaptation. And then finally a cover buy, which for me is more like a cover TBR because I didn't buy this. I'm going to listen to an audiobook. But that is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, which has the most beautiful cover. And I'm going to be listening to this on audiobook. How stunning. This is about another like witchy mystery about a girl who's given to the witch and is meant to be fed starlight and then passed on to a different town, like it's this kind of thing going on, but instead she feeds her moonlight and she becomes a witch, I believe. So those are all the books I'm going to be reading for Believathon. My goal is to read all of these in like the first 2 and a bit weeks, and then crack into the rest of my clear shit TBR. So when I finish these, I will let you know, and we will do a clear shit TBR that includes everything else in my repertoire for clear shit. It's a bit insane. If you didn't know, I'm attempting to do 4 books per prompt for clear shit, which is never going to happen, but we're going to try. I think 3 might happen with 4 for some, but we'll see. So keep an eye out in the future for a really early December clear shit TBR. And otherwise, keep an eye out for some vlogs, because I think I will vlog this experience reading these books, and you can see that on my channel when it happens. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Hopefully this one wasn't too chaotic. Bye!